Hello and welcome back to Mr. Edelman's fantastic math class. Today we're going to start the section on angle measures, and the first thing we're going to do is just go over some of the vocabulary used when discussing angles. So if we start off, the first thing we're going to talk about is degree or degrees. And degrees are simply how we measure angles. We also measure circles in that, but as we'll see later, a circle is just a very large angle. And the second thing we're going to talk about is what is referred to as array. An array is just part of a line. So let me give you some examples. So if we just take an endpoint and then move it on, let's give some points on this line. Let's call it, let's start easy, A, B, C. Now the symbol for this is a couple things. You always start at the endpoint, so it's always going to be A, and you can pick any point that's on that ray. So I will pick point AB, and then what I'm going to do above this is I'm going to make an arrow that only has one arrowhead. You could also call this ray AC. Remember, you always start at the endpoint and choose any point that's on the line. And you would call this, you would refer to this as ray AB or ray AC. Either one would be appropriate. And that brings us to our third vocabulary word, which is opposite rays. An opposite ray is really just another way of discussing what a line is. So let's take a look. The official definition, an opposite ray is the two rays formed when a point is chosen on a line. So if I give you a diagram here, let's give ourselves a line. Okay, and then I'll choose 3 points. Let's see, I put A, B, C there, so I'll go D, E, and F. So if I choose the point, I choose the point E right there. If we choose the point E, we can see that point E from point E forms two rays, which are collinear. And so the symbols, we would say, we would just make two symbols for opposite rays. So it would be ray ED and ray EF, being that ED is the ray that goes from here to there, and ray EF is the ray that goes from here all the way into infinity the other way. And so how we would say this is that ray ED and ray EF are opposite rays. And again, opposite rays just form a line. Okay, so what this all brings us to is what we really want to spend the most time on, and that is angles. Now you should be fairly familiar with angles from some of your previous classwork, but let's talk about what an angle is. An angle is formed by two non-collinear rays that have a common endpoint. So if I was to draw a diagram, let's see, I'll go this way. So that is, we have a ray here, we have a common endpoint, and so we have there an angle. So I'm going to go ahead and label some of this. So let's go A, B, C, D, E, F. Let's go G, H, and K. And how we're going to name this, there are actually multiple ways to name this. So first thing is, because it's the only ray there, we can name it with a little angle symbol. Sometimes you'll see me, I'll put a mark there so that you know it's an angle symbol and it's not an L. And we would call this G, H, K. Please note that the common endpoint is going to be in the middle, and that's going to be the case anytime. So we could name it angle GHK or angle KHG. These two are the most specific ways to name these. There would be no confusion if you were to name it this way. Another possible way of naming this, and if this only works when the angle is standing alone, it can't be in conjunction, there can't be other lines off this angle, you could call this angle H. And on occasion, you will see a number put in here. Let's call that, let's say there's a 3 in there. And make sure that you notice that that's a 3 and that's not a 3 degrees. There is a large difference between the two. You could call this angle 3. And so those are the 4 ways that you can name this one angle. Next, we want to go over some of the related vocab that goes with angles. So first of all, the sides. The sides are formed by the 2 rays. So the sides are going to be ray HG and HK. Please note that they all start with that H. And let's talk about a specific name for that H. The common endpoint is referred to as the vertex, and that is going to be point H. So sort of the hinge of where the 2 rays meet. And then we have something called interior and exterior, and that's talking about points that are inside or outside of the ray. So let's see, J, K, L, J, L, M, N, O, and P. So in the interior would be all the space right in here. That's the interior. And so we could say that we have points J, L, and M. And the exterior would be all these points out here. And so that would be points P, O, and N. Please note that I did not put any of the points that are actually on the angle. G, H, and K are neither on the interior or the exterior because they are in fact on the angle. So that's the vocab that we're going to use for this section and throughout the whole year. So if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to ask me either in person or on my blog. That's all we have for today, and we'll talk to you real soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.